Hello, my name is Alea Joshua, and I'm out here in Sewanee, Florida. Live Oak is where it's called. But this is where I slept last night. It's really pretty cool. Just a little bit of untouched land out here, right off from the interstate and the highway, and got all this Spanish moss and funky foliage. I'm enjoying it. It was a nice place to wake up. But going to sleep in it, or rather setting up camp, was where this trip is a learning experience for me, because, well, it was dark, and nothing more immediately represents the dark, or represents the unknown, than darkness. And so walking back here was just like this wall of black that I walked into. And yeah, you know, when you're inside just a big old wall of black, it's where the imagination takes over. And you know, that's where a lot of our fears are built, and that's really the only justification for our fears, in my opinion, that we can find is in our imagination. And you know, there's variables to that: TV, the news, stories that we read, testimony of other people. But when it comes down to it, I mean, this is why I'm here. Because the fear is something that I feel like holds a lot of people back, and I know is holding me back as well. And not just fear of being, you know, generally houseless and, you know, at mercy of nature and what other natural variables that I would come across in this kind of journey. But, you know, the fear of leaving our comfort zone. And so that's why I'm here, is to make the darkness, the unknown, my comfort zone. And I think that's kind of paradoxical, because where am I supposed to go from there? But I won't get into that. So I lay down, and then I start hearing things, you know, crackles in the leaves and footsteps. But that was all in my head. I mean, sure, there's probably a little critter, maybe even a jaguar. I've always wanted to see a jaguar. Maybe not trying to get at me while I'm sleeping, but still. The point is that when I woke up this morning, I felt more exhilarated than ever. The sun breaking through the trees, these awesome trees, oaks and palms and Spanish moss everywhere. I mean, it's just really cool, you know. And I encourage people to, you know, Eleanor Roosevelt said, you should do one thing that scares you every day. And that's what I'm getting at out here. So I started yesterday in Lake City. I woke up next to a railroad station in Lake City, and here I am in Live Oak, and I'm gonna see what I can't do to get to Gulf Shores today. So do something that scares you today, even if it's just breaking out and dance in the middle of downtown area, and, you know, make yourself vulnerable, because I mean, that's a statement that's come to me a whole lot the past few days, is exercise your vulnerability. And I was thinking about it when I was sitting down this morning, being like, you know, we're like our own soil, and we're trying to grow these rich trees and flowers and vegetables and whatever else kind of things you like growing in soil. And if we get stuck in our day-to-day, in this book that I'm reading, it's called Hypnotic Rhythm, you get stuck in it and you just keep going that way because you're hypnotized by that rhythm, you know. But if you can exercise your vulnerability, take that dry, cracked up soil where you don't want to change your ways, and chop it up and water it and put some good organic fertilizer, compost in it, and make it rich and fertile. Oh, there's a kitty cat. Aww. Make it rich and fertile and vulnerable to the variables of nature, you know. There might be a heavy storm, huge heavy storm that sweeps all your vulnerable soil away, but you can still rebuild out of that. And who knows, with that little bit of fresh, fertile, vulnerable soil left in that storm, in that failure, if you want to place a human construct on it, there's the seed of success. And from that, you can build a super cool forest, just like this. So I think that's about all I want to say today. And then somebody will ruin it and put man stuff on it. But it's still a nice water tower. But that's all I want to say today. Exercise your vulnerability. Do something that scares you. And spread and share love. I love you guys.